everyone. Are you ready for a dash for cash up the mighty Murray from Blanchetown to the historic Chawla station and the Victorian border? Yes, it's the annual Mighty River Run, which raises much needed funds for one of South Australia's oldest charities, Navita Children's Services. Navita supports thousands of South Australian kids and young people living with disabilities. For 10 years now, every November, boaties give up their time to spend a fun week raising a stack of cash while exploring South Australia's section of the River Murray. So sit back and relax as we set off on the 2016 10th anniversary Navita Mighty River Run.
I'm heading back to the river.
Monday, November 14, a very unusual weather pattern greeted the motley crews who gathered at Blanchetown for the start of the 10th annual Mighty River Run. The Murray was murky and mysterious, so were most of the boaties. There'd been plenty of rain all over the country, and most of it had found its way into Australia's biggest waterway, triggering flooding from the other side of the border all the way down to Mannum and making the Murray a muddy brown. The stars had also assembled for the start of the run, Roo and Ditz doing their Triple M breakfast show, sheltering in a tent in unseasonable winter wear.
JR and Snowy, good morning.
Hello, mate. How are we?
How proud of you to have 10 years on the River Run, nearly $3 million raised for Navita.
Outside in the elements, Sunrise weatherman Sam Mack doing his national forecast and entertaining the troops. And also in full fundraising form, Port legend and long-time Navita ambassador Russell Ebert, shaving for a shilling or two.
Well, pretty good, Russell Ebert. I'm just getting word we're out of time. We're going to have to leave it like that for you. Sorry,
The team shoved off and started milling around in the soupy water, so time to get the show on the road. The flags were ready, so were Snowy and I.
Whoa! Here we go! Here we go!
The pilots and crews all safely aboard, and the river runners started the long haul from Blanchetown to the Victorian border.
I'm heading back to the river to wash my sins away. Back to the river every single day. I hope the good Lord will deliver my soul at the river.
Well, here we are, the 2016 Mighty River Run. We've just left Blanchetown. We're heading up to Waikerie. We've got 38 boats. This is our biggest fleet in 10 years. It's fantastic for everyone on board. It's fantastic for Navita. They've got the support. We hope to raise $3 million. We're already close. If we can get a little bit more money on this one, we're going to hit $3 million over the 10 years raised for Navita Children's Services for the kids that they look after right across South Australia. It's a great feeling. Everyone's in a good mood. The river's a little dirty. We've got the water coming down, the floodwater's coming down. We're pushing into a pretty strong tide. It's not the greatest of days. It's overcast. It's not like the Riverland, but it's going to get better. So let's push on. 38 boats on the run. Fantastic.
Hope the good Lord will deliver my soul at the river.
The sentinel-like cliffs that surround sections of the Murray kept most of the boaties on the straight and narrow, and pretty soon we were zooming through Morgan. And not long after that, one of the gems of the middle section of SA's share of the Murray. A wonderful place to stop to enjoy the wonderful wines and fabulous food of Cordo's Winery. Our host, Zach Cordo.
We utilise all the local produce from the area, so we've got local tasting platters with toasted Turkish bread, and there's a selection of dips and things from Alangi and other local Riverland producers. We also do, on the weekends, wood-fired pizzas, which most of the stuff is sourced locally. We've also got tabletop barbecues, which is some locally sourced meat with a fresh garden salad. So, yeah, there's a nice variety for everyone.
And they tell me the sangria's not too bad.
Sangria's pretty good. Careful, it sneaks up on you. It's very refreshing. Come summertime, yeah, it's just easy to drink and, yeah, very, very fun.
Better go and try one then.
Yep, no worries, thank you.
Not far from Cordo's, the real fun was about to begin as the crews encountered the first lock. As has happened in every one of the past 9 river runs, out come the big boys' water toys. Every year's the same. As soon as the boats get into the locks, it's on for young and old with the water fights, the balloons loaded with water, you name it, it all happens in here. The only thing is, this is the first lock we've had on this trip. We've got 4 to go after this. We pressed on out of the lock and got a fantastic surprise. The river had suddenly flattened, the wind had dropped, and there was a hint of blue sky. So on the 108 k's from blustery Blanchetown to wonderful Waikerie, the mood picked up, and it was a good moon arising that night as we made camp along the riverfront. Day 2 of the mighty river run. Have a look at this. We've got sunshine, blue sky and a beautiful calm river Murray. Better than yesterday when we came up to Waikerie from Blanchetown. Pretty lumpy, pretty choppy, pretty windy, pretty grey. Today we go upstream again, of course. We're going up to Loxton, 107 k's, but on the way we're going to drop into one of the greatest hotels, I reckon, in South Australia. It was indeed a ripper day. The crews tidied up and repacked their vessels, some opting for shorts and t-shirts instead of yesterday's winter wear. We grouped up for the day's safety briefing as the mighty Murray showed off just how good she could look. Always keen to get back on the water, the 200 fundraisers wasted no time pushing off from the Waikerie foreshore to head upstream towards Loxton. Hey, we were hooting along. The water was smooth as, and with blue skies emerging and the welcome sunshine bringing the magnificent cliffs to life, this is what the run's all about. Boaties being boaties. Simply wonderful to be on the water, although with the camera on board, we had to slow down a tad and let a few crews past. They were in a hurry to get to our special lunch spot, one of the great pubs of South Australia, and for that matter, Australia. But with the high water from the floods, the usual place to moor was now metres underwater. Confusion set in. Finally, all sorted, and this was the surprise lunch location, the historic Overland Corner Hotel that lies between Barmera and Morgan. It's one of the oldest buildings in the Riverland and has quite a colourful past. Visited by bushranger Captain Moonlight and almost lost in the massive 1956 floods. It has quite a story to tell, just like the publican. Feel ready.
It was built in 1858 by the Brand brothers and their father. 11 years later, it lost its liquor licence just purely for the fact they put the drinking age up to 12. The main reason is the bullockers that came here were 25 to 50 a week, and the average age of a driver of a bullock team was from the age of 8 to 12.
Given the improved weather, the great food and magic location, well, lunch lingered a little longer than we could afford. So we needed to get back on the water and push on to our overnight stop at Loxton, still more than 60 k's away. Back on the run, and as we approached Lock 3, it was clear how much floodwater was tearing down the Murray. Not long after we passed through here, the lock wall was barely visible. And seeing there was plenty of the wet stuff, the runners thought they might as well share a bit around, as usually happens inside the locks. On the other side of the mayhem, what a sight. Flat river, massive red gums and blue sky as we ducked under the Kingston on Murray Bridge. This is one of my favourite parts of the Murray, and it was at its absolute best. Flat calm, brilliant sunshine and a perfect sky. The boat's just sliding by. Absolutely beautiful. From above, our eye on the sky got the best view. With these stunning conditions, it didn't take us long to glide into Loxton and moor up at the caravan park, and then head up to our outdoor dinner at the historic Loxton Pioneer Village. Matthew, the resident DJ, belted out a blunt warning from a hit tune for any of the boaties who were even thinking of perhaps behaving badly.
Don't be so reckless.
At least Matthew could sing, unlike some of the crews that caved into the temptation of late night karaoke.
Wow, thanks. You made my heart sing.
And then, surprise, surprise, is that Peter Garrett on the mighty River Run preparing for his comeback? No, not even close. Sounded like he'd probably had a little bit too much midnight oil. Day 3 of the mighty River Run today. We go all the way up to the SA Victoria border, the Chawla station. It's going to be wonderful. It's river like it used to be. No shacks, no towns, just pure river. The boys and girls on board are pretty pumped about doing it. Not a lot of people have been up there because it's the top of the South Australian stretch of the river. So foreign ground to a lot of us going on this trip today, and we can't wait. It's going beautifully. The sun's out. The river is magnificent. Yes, it truly was magnificent. And typically on the run, there's never any pressure or urgency to get the show on the road. It's very much an event done at your own pace, so we just dawdled for a few k's, soaking up the sensational sunshine. Within minutes of setting off from Loxton, the most amazing thing happened. The tiny breeze we started off with dropped out completely, and there was the smoothest River Murray we had seen in the 10-year history of the River Run. We picked up the pace a bit with the trusty Yami 150 pushing us along nicely further upstream. The scenery just got better and better. The boaties in their element, loving the perfect conditions. we're well on our way to Berri. That's the lunch stop today. And there are a couple of surprises. The boaties don't know it, but we've got about 60 Navita kids coming down to say hi and thank you for their efforts of raising all the money on the river run. But there's also another surprise. The kids don't know they're about to meet their superheroes. We made it through another lock pretty easily. With the tide so high, we're in and out in just minutes. Then there were just a couple of bends to negotiate as we continued on for Berri. Once again, we were spoiled by a perfect Murray. Glassy conditions, the stunning cliffs framed against a bright blue sky, and 27 beautiful degrees. We moored up at the marina as the special Navita kids arrived. Meanwhile, the boaties were slipping into their superhero cozies and there were miles of smiles. A holy hole in a donut. Batman was there. Somebody had obviously called the Ghostbusters. There was a bear or two in there as well. No thunder or lightning on this run, but Thor made it anyway. Super Sumos weighed in to spend some time with the Navita kids. And look, down on the grass, there was a powerful moment for our River Run Superman.
I think the paint's wet. You might end up with Superman on your hair.
For a quick team photo with the kids before bidding them farewell. From Berri, the river swings around and we were now heading north toward the historical Chawla station, still more than 100 k's away. Plenty of parking space here at Chawla. It was a beautiful last light run as we got ready for a wonderful night under the stars, preceded by some stunning bush tucker in a typical Aussie outback setting. Tomorrow, the SA Victoria border. Well, this is our last day on the river for the 2016 Navita Mighty River Run. From here, the boaties go 27 kilometres upstream to the SA Victoria border. That's where the South Australian section of the Murray begins. From there, they'll head downstream back to Renmark and we'll wrap up things down there. It's been a great week. It's gone very quickly, but we've seen the river like we haven't seen it for some time. It's in flood, it's wide, it looks very, very healthy. We've had a ball, and the best news is we've raised over $200,000 thanks to 160 boaties in 38 boats. Well done.
Another round of applause for the boys. Yeah, fantastic, everyone.
Well done indeed. And we raised some extra income during our stay at Chawla Station. Some of the cruisers had grown beards to be cut off for cash. In the morning, we had a quick look around at this iconic Riverland tourism attraction. Chawla Station is 94,000 hectares of grazing land and has been operating for more than 150 years and is still in the hands of the same family that started it. It's rich in history. The paddle steamers called here to pick up wool and take it downstream to Morgan. The shearing shed was built in the 1870s out of local pine. Back in 1881, more than 70,000 sheep were shorn here. The homestead, just typical rural South Australia. Solid, thick stone walls, shady return verandas, and just far enough back from a rising river. Next to the shearing shed, the shearers' quarters, all available for holiday rental. With the river distance marker showing the boaties just how far upstream they were, they set out on the dash for the border. With the floodwaters still teeming, they'd be pushing into a real riptide. Well, we'd heard the rumours before we came up to the river that it was flowing really, really well with all the floodwaters coming down. And here's the proof. The engine's off, absolutely turned off, no propulsion whatsoever, and we're doing better than 4 kilometres an hour. Another smashing day. The top end of our bit of the Murray is certainly quite different and well worth checking out. Mission accomplished, our 370 kilometre fundraiser over for another year. All good things must come to an end, and later that night at the end of the run gala dinner back in Renmark, the hard-working crews found out how well they did. We've got the total here, folks, that you people have raised on this 10th anniversary river run, and it is
$250,000.
That is fantastic. Well, hope you enjoyed the 2016 10th anniversary Navita Mighty River Run. I know the 200 participants did. One crew contributed a staggering $28,000. Now, all the money goes to Navita Children's Services to assist thousands of South Aussie kids and young people living with disability, their families and carers. If you've been inspired to join us on this year's run, starting down at Goolwa and going upstream as far as Morgan and then coming back to finish in Mannum, I can guarantee it'll be a brilliant week. So if you haven't got a boat, buy one, borrow one, or organise a friend who has one and join the cavalcade for a cause on the Mighty Murray from November 12. You can register and find out more on the website, or you can call Navita.